Episode 43, As Husband and Wife. Daria was stupefied at her words. Damn it! Had Zape not told her that she had the female lead in that series? But seeing her naivety, he couldn't bear to correct her. He let her dream of playing just a minor role in the series. If she was so happy thinking she had a minor role, she'd be on cloud 9 when she found out she had the lead. Dario burst into laughter when he imagined her reaction. Jade thought he was laughing at her minor role. She felt a bit angry with him. What's so funny? Jade pouted and grumbled. Dario couldn't resist poking her in the side and said with a smile, All right, we've reached the clerk's office. Let's go in. Oh. Jade was about to say it must be closed, but when she looked at the entrance, she was shocked. What was going on? How could it still be open at nearly midnight? The lights in the office were on, and there were people inside. I said it would be open, didn't I? Let's go. Dario was pleased when he saw her reaction. He took her hand affectionately, and they walked into the clerk's office. Once inside, the receptionist smiled warmly and said, Sir, Miss, are you here to register for a marriage license? What do you think? Dario raised his eyebrows. All right, come this way, please. Did you bring your passports with you? Dario began to pull Jade along, but she balked. She tugged on his sleeve and asked worriedly, Mr. Foster, are you sure you want to marry me? She still couldn't believe that this man really wanted to marry her. Of course, I'm sure. Dario locked his gaze firmly on hers. However, Jade could not stop fretting. She lowered her head awkwardly, asking, Are you really willing to pay for my grandma's medical bills? I might not ever be able to repay you. Dario tapped her head gently and said, Didn't I already say? I've already paid for her medical bills, and I don't need you to pay me back. He wondered, did she really not trust him yet? Jade felt relieved upon hearing that. She knew she could trust his words. As long as her grandmother was safe, she was willing to do anything. Victor Carson suddenly crossed her mind, making her feel anxious. She must not get Dario involved in her personal problems. But what about Victor Carson? He seems like a powerful man. Don't worry about him. You'll never see him again. Dario's deep voice reassured her. She looked down, missing the cold, dangerous look in his eyes. He knew Victor Carson was probably lying in the hospital right now, unable to father a child ever again. Are you still worried? Dario asked again, seeing her silence. Jade lifted her head and met his deep, coal-black eyes. She held up 3 fingers. Then, the conditions I've explained, you can't go back on your word, I won't fall in love with you, and I won't do that with you. Her face blushed as red as an apple when she said it. Though she didn't say the word, she knew Dario would understand what she meant. She didn't want to give away her virginity before falling in love. I'll respect you. With that, Dario kissed her on the lips. While she was still stunned, he quickly added, Under the conditions you've stated, you never said I can't kiss you. I'm a very trustworthy person. Jade was furious, but she couldn't resist. She just felt like she was always at a disadvantage with him. Jade went through the entire process in a daze, from filling out the form to taking photos and finally signing the marriage license. It took no more than 10 minutes. In the end, when Jade held the license, she realized she had truly married this man. Mr. Foster, since we've already gotten the license and there's nothing else to do, I'm ready to go back to the dorm now. Can you please send me back? Jade glanced at her right hand uncomfortably because he'd been holding it the whole time. Hearing her words, he clutched her hand more tightly, not wanting her to leave. He looked down into her face, his gaze softened and his voice deepened. Of course, you need to sleep, but not in the dorm, at my house. What? Why? Jade said in shock. Why? Why do you think so? Jade was speechless. How could she know? Dario leaned close to her ear and whispered, Today is our first day as a married couple, so it's our wedding night. Obviously, we have to be together. You said we can't share a bed, but you didn't say you wouldn't stay at my place. From now on, you're not allowed to go back to the dorm. Though he had already sent people to deal with those 2 girls who had bullied her, and he was not worried about her being harassed, she was now his wife. How could he let her stay in that kind of place? He flipped open the marriage license and pointed at their photos. Their expressions were a bit funny. Dario looked cold and handsome as usual, Very few men could look so good in a marriage license photo. Jade, on the other hand, looked like she was in shock. Jade felt the two people in the photo seemed mismatched. It was like Cinderella and a handsome prince. "Do you see? We are now husband and wife. So, where do you think you should go?" Dario peered at Jade as he caressed her delicate hand. Somehow, this made Jade feel even more shy. But I'm not ready yet. Can we talk about it after a few days?" Jade smiled awkwardly, trying to put him off by stalling. But this tactic was useless against Dario. He turned around and pinned Jade against the car. Their bodies were pressed against each other tightly. "Don't you want to be with me?" This is our wedding night."